All conversations and information exchanged during What If Nothing's Wrong podcast with Heidi Haddad, LCSW, are intended for educational and entertainment purposes only. Please do not confuse this with treatment, therapy, or psychotherapeutic advice or guidance. The information on these podcasts is supplemental and not meant to interfere with the therapeutic work between you and your professional therapist, counselor, or psychiatrist. Please understand that Heidi Haddad does not maintain the role of your psychotherapist, but rather offers an educated, professional perspective from that of a licensed clinical social worker.
When your anxiety is crippling and you're stuck inside your head, find your joy, find your joy. When your man won't touch you but you wanna have a baby, find your joy, find your joy. When you're walking down the street and you get punched in the face, find your joy, find your joy. When you wanna fire a bazooka at your neighbor's barking dog, find your joy, find your joy. Find your joy, find your joy.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to What If Nothing's Wrong, the podcast that asks the question, what if nothing's wrong? I'm here, as always, with Heidi Haddad. Hey, Heidi. How you doing?
Hey, Nelsie. I'm good. How are you?
She mixed it up. She did a weird accent we can't identify, so nobody can be pissed off. But I liked
They
it.
definitely, none of my accents are identifiable. So that's pretty solid.
She offended all the babies in the world.
Oh, and you know what? They will cancel her in a heartbeat. Ronnie, Whaley, how are
Please
you?
don't cancel. I'm good. I'm good.
The baby,
Look at Ronnie turning it up.
Yeah. So
can I start with something? Because Nelsie, I think that you owe Tom's River Family Dental an apology.
I do. You are so right.
Why?
Yeah. Yes. Thank you. On the podcast, I went on to complain about them profusely because they weren't getting back to me and all of this. Well, it's true that they weren't getting back to me, and they finally did get back to me. And then I reached them only to discover they are not the ones who put the veneer on.
I see.
So I'm like, they're like, well, we don't have an oral surgeon anymore. I said, it's not a surgery. It's a veneer. I just want you to put my veneer on. And they're like, we don't have anything in our records that we ever put a veneer on.
And if you recall, part of Nelsie's story was also like, and can you believe them? Because I said maybe you could go see someone else. I'm not going anywhere else. They owe me. They owe me to fix this for free. We're out.
Yeah. Well,
righteous and outraged.
And let me just say that this has been a theme recently where I have been adamant, certain that I'm wrong. Sometimes I'm condescending. Sometimes I'm outraged.
You mean certain that you're right?
Sorry. Thank you. Yes, certain that I'm right.
It turns out you're adamantly wrong.
Yes, I'm wrong after being condescending and maybe a little sarcastic. So this character defect, if you will, has been pointed out to me again and again, and I have to really reel it in. I got to reel it in and dial it down. Like I'm not even sure my name's Nelsie anymore. Like I'm not going to be adamant about anything. Well, all I was going to say is when I was meeting my friend patients at the beach the other day, and I said, we always go to Avenue F. And she's on the phone with me saying, I see F Street, but I'm like, it's not F Street. It's Avenue F. Just put it in your GPS. And I'm thinking, she's such an idiot. Does she not know how to use her GPS? It is F Street. It's not Avenue F. She's like, I'm sitting on a beach at F Street. I'm like, what are you looking at? Like, she's, are you suggesting to me that I leave
She's like,
the
I'm
beach?
looking at you.
I leave the beach and go. We hadn't even arrived yet. So it's not like we couldn't have gone to wherever she was. And by the way, she was in the right place. And I was a condescending, complete asshole, adamant asshole. So I've got to really work. I've got to work on that, man. Whew. All right, that's it.
Okay.
All right.
Ronnie,
Yes.
Do you have any updates on your 30-year-old friend who makes fun of you for working?
Yeah, actually, I do. Yeah, I
It's a
forgot
really good
that.
question. Really good
Yeah.
question.
Thanks, Nelsie. Thanks a
I
lot.
saw him a couple of weeks ago, and yeah, it basically happened the same thing. That role play that we did happened, and then I literally went, "Oh, it's okay, dude. You'll find it."
How did it
And he was
go?
like, "Oh, fuck you. You know what you're talking about." I was like, "Oh no, dude, don't worry, man. Don't worry. You'll find it." And then we ended up like
And wait a minute. You'll find it was in response to him saying what?
saying, "Oh, like, dude, you want to hang out?" And like, I got some bud or whatever, right? I think that's what it was. Like, do you want to hang out? I got weed, and I was like, "Oh no, I don't want to do that. Like, I have like work. I have to edit." Um, and then he was just like, "Oh, yeah, sure." He was like that. It was more like, "Yeah, sure, you got it. Yeah, whatever." And I was like, "Oh, dude, don't worry, man. You're gonna find your thing, dude. Don't worry." And it caught him off guard, I think.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
the day
you came
after
in with
that,
love.
yeah, the day after that, I went to a friend's place and he was there, and I didn't know he was gonna be there. I think he didn't hit me up just because he might have been mad that I hit a chord for him, and then I hadn't seen him in 2 weeks, and I didn't like make an effort to not see him or anything. It's just, I think
You're busy editing.
Yeah, that, but also like even then, like last weekend, I had dinner with some friends, and everyone's asking me where that guy is. I'm like, I don't know. I haven't talked to him since then because he hasn't reached out to me because I think I hit a strong. The truth came out.
He found his thing.
I doubt it.
Yeah. No, dude, you're gonna find your thing. As you're thinking, he's not ever gonna find his thing.
I don't think it happened in like a week. I don't. It took him.
Hey.
Yeah, it took him 10 years.
So
to
what?
get to not.
You never know.
Well,
If this something you get
maybe.
hit, something happens, and all of a
Well,
sudden,
here's the
this feels
thing.
good.
I think he's more likely to find his thing if he has friends who are doing their things. You know what I mean?
That's
and saying,
oh yeah, for sure.
right?
Yeah, I think
Just
so.
saying, maybe.
I'm doing my
All right.
thing.
So do we need? Let's see. Is there an update that we need to get from Heidi because she's updated? She's doing really well, right? I think that's Heidi's new job. I'm like, I had to. Right. I had to. You're the
right,
update. You're the circle back. It's the circle back moment.
Yeah, just call me CB for short. So last night on Twitter, I'm going to do one of those just to remind ourselves of last week's episode. We talked about bullying. Nelsie got a little emotional, and my tweet on bullying was talking about, do you have any experience with it as a perpetrator, as a survivor, or as a witness? And the answers ranged from, actually everybody had strong feelings about it, whether they were the perpetrator, the survivor / victim, and or someone who'd witnessed it and how they engaged. So I'm not going to mention all because there were a lot, but some people wrote, for example, at Riley Francis wrote, I bullied an older kid in high school after we came out to each other. The other band kids ridiculed him, and I was scared for them to know that I was gay too, so I got on board their bullying. This was 1981-82. I was a freshman, he was a junior. I've since apologized to him.
Wow.
Who said that, Heidi?
At Riley Francis.
That's brave of you.
I have to say that I really appreciate the share, and I appreciate the apology. And I have to say, in my own experience, when I've been able to recognize that I have wronged someone, I almost can't wait to circle back and say, not can't wait, that's a little dramatic, or a little extreme, but just when I recognize that I was wrong and that person deserves an apology, then I circle back and have that conversation. For whatever happens, I've had various responses, nothing negative. I'll appreciative on some level, but I also am glad to have done it to clean that up and not have that hanging over that person, over me, over us.
Yeah. No, it's really powerful. I think that being able to say I'm sorry and mean it is really powerful for you and for the other person. You know, they have the whole in the 12-step program. Your 9th step is to make amends wherever possible, except when to do so would hinder you or others. So you have to be, and the whole thing about it is how they respond to your apology is none of your business. You go in and you clean up your side of the street because, you know, sometimes people are going to go there. They might not say, oh, I really appreciate that. They might not say, oh, fuck you. You were an asshole, you know? So yeah, I'm with you, sister friend. Ronnie, what's going on with you and apologies? Is that something that's easy for you to do or not?
Apologies. I apologize when I need to apologize. I feel like that's the least someone could do. And also, but I've been on the other end of that where like I've had like a past bully apologize to me, you know?
Oh my
And
God. That's right, Ronnie.
yeah, exactly.
Talk to us about that a little bit.
So I was bullied in high school, and I came to New York years later after high school, after college, and then I messaged the guy who after the high school thing, we were kind of like friends, not really. Like he would still tease me in like groups, but we were a little bit more mature. But then we weren't friends. And then I reached out to him when I went to New York, and then we had a drink together, and then we began a friendship, which was super unlikely. I didn't think it was going to happen. And then we became very close friends, and we didn't even talk about the bullying until we got to a point where we were really close friends. And I told him how much I fucking hated him. And he actually, in his perspective, he didn't realize what he was doing. He didn't realize the weight of it, and like how, you know, I went to homeschool in the 7th grade because I didn't want to be in the hallways of that school anymore. And it's just kind of crazy to like circle back years later, and he apologized, and we're very close friends now. Like, it's funny, the people who used to bully me back then, most of them I'm friends with now, because you know, it's a small place. I don't know why. I don't know why we are friends now. There's a couple friends.
Slim Pickens.
Maybe there's just not other people. But I also made the effort to like give people a second chance, I think, because you realize that some people are doing that for a reason.
When you finally said something to him, Ronnie,
yeah,
was it hard to say? Like, had you had a few drinks, or was it something that was boiling in you?
We did have a few drinks.
Yeah. And then
it wasn't really boiling. It wasn't really boiling. It was more like interesting conversation. That's how it started. Like, oh, isn't it crazy that we're friends now? We weren't friends before. And then he was like, oh yeah, we were friends. I'm like, no, are you crazy? And then, you know, then I opened this whole door of perspective to him, and he had no idea. And he was in shock. He was taken aback, honestly.
Because he didn't realize how shitty he'd been and how it landed on you.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, that whole thing went full circle. Like my whole like bullying life went full circle, and a lot of those guys I'm friends with now.
Well, it's a little crazy that we had that whole episode talking about bullying last week, and we didn't know. I mean, I remember now that you had gone through some bullying, but that you didn't chime in last week. But I guess I was weeping, so you didn't have time to
I wasn't
chime
trying
in.
to top anybody. Like,
No,
oh, you think that's some?
Yeah. Get this. But anyway, because we have you experienced it firsthand.
Yeah.
And also had somebody who bullied you apologize, and now you're friends. I mean, wow. I don't know. Feel like it's a John Hughes movie or something. You know?
Yeah, we're really close friends now, it's kind of crazy. That doesn't really happen.
No, it doesn't. Heidi L. Haddad, you're looking and thinking. I can see it.
So I want to add, I'm just going to add some more comments, if I may.
Good. Please do.
Thank you. Garrett Colucci wrote, I don't think of myself as a bully, but in first grade, there was a kid I picked on. I remember one time I threw him into the coat racks. I think I did it because sometimes my older brother would pick on me as a kid. The weird thing is that I assumed he thought of me as a friend.
Oh,
So
wow.
So that to me is kind of similar to what you just said about your friend.
yeah,
But
yeah.
what
It's
is-
also-
what is-
it also
I'm sorry,
sort of-
Nelsie, what was that?
That I feel like it's all weaving. This is me saying it's all weaving
Oh.
together.
Nelsie clasped
know?
her fingers. Nobody who, if you can't see it, what is always... Ronnie, speak to this. I can't even.
The international symbol for weaving is putting your fingers together like you're going to fold your fingers together, and it's all weaving together. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
Right.
Go.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
so-
Go ahead, Heidi.
No, Ronnie, did you want to say something?
No,
I
absolutely
can't
not, no.
follow that. Yeah, me either. Okay, so
No, because look,
Oh, she's got more.
We had the fuck you. We had the bullying thing. I had my little breakdown where I got very upset, and like the bullying that I did was very small potatoes, but I wasn't trying to defend myself. But anyway, so then I was thinking, look at the bully, and then we've got the Ronnie thing, and now we've got this, which is a guy who bullied, didn't think he was bullying, right? I thought we were friends, which totally, and then he says, maybe I did it because I was being bullied by my brother. So I'm just saying, turn. It all
all I'm saying is hand clasp out. All right, so then that leads me to Cody Cantrell,
Okay,
Esquire. I was a bully, mean as fuck as a kid. I was small for my age too. I regret it now. I didn't do it because I felt inferior, because I was seeing something in the people I bullied because I was seeing something in the people I bullied that I was lacking. I just did it because I thought it was funny to be an asshole. Slapping people's books out of their hands, pulling chairs out from under people when they go to sit down, saying hateful stuff. I got a kick out of all of that kind of thing. I'd apologize to everyone I was an ass to if I had the chance today, but I doubt they'd give me a chance. The worst part is that I was persistent. Somebody standing up to me didn't even remotely deter me. I made going to school with me very hard for some people. I didn't have a rough home life, didn't come from a broken home or anything like that either. I was just proud to be mean.
Wow.
So I said,
Wow.
I mean, what's interesting about that is, come on, there's more here to the story.
You think
There's
so?
got to be more. Either that
100%.
or he had
No.
like a brain injury that.
No,
didn't
come on,
fucking-
stop. There's more to the story. He is articulate about what he did as a kid. He's aware that he was doing it not to intentionally be mean, but he thought it was funny. And although at the same time, I was proud to be mean. And maybe that's what he was feeling at the time, or that he thought he was getting a laugh is my guess. So I said,
That's something. Trying to get
Right.
attention.
Right.
Yeah, get
right.
attention. So I wrote back saying something about usually behaviors don't appear from nothing. Usually there's other reasons, maybe getting a reaction that made you feel good, or maybe needing a reaction because you weren't getting it elsewhere. And he wrote, might have been the attention thing. Even though I was in a loving home, I was mostly left to my own devices. The thing was that I didn't really seek attention at home. I was happy to be left alone to watch whatever I wanted or play games. There wasn't exactly a lot of structure.
So a little neglect going on there, perhaps.
I mean, and
you know,
the strong word. That's a strong word. And so let's not throw neglect around so easily.
I'm going to toss
Just
it. When I
saying
toss
that
it left, I'm going to toss it right. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I'm tossing it out.
We'll toss it out.
Because if it was as simple as maybe, I don't know what, obviously I don't know anything
Maybe
about this
attention
person's story.
wasn't offered as much at home.
Right. And maybe there was a way in which there was a communication style in the family where joking or making fun or something like that got attention. So it could have been a learned behavior, and not in a mean way. But as a kid, I'm going to bring this together. It reminds me of the conversation we had about drinking and parenting, where you say to your kid, you can drink with me, and thinking that they're going to then understand how to handle themselves with alcohol once they're with their friends. So the same thing, we teach our kids something, they're behaving a certain way.
Within the household, within the family
right,
structure,
within the family framework, right? And then we don't even think about how they take that piece of information or behavior and maybe blow it up outside the house or use it in a way that can be hurtful or detrimental to themselves or to others. And that sounds dramatic, but it's real.
Yeah, because it is real. And I think that the thing that's interesting about that response, that comment, is that I don't know if it's a he or a she. I don't know if that was established, but that they said, I would apologize if I could, but I don't think Cody said, I would apologize if I could, but I don't think they'd accept my apology. So there's something going on there. Like they'd like to apologize and, but feel like they've burned a bridge. So yeah, it's just interesting how he's, and it's still with him, even though with them.
Can I just put a little asterisk in here and a plug for, can we use per? Then you won't struggle with the name and the pronoun, because I see you're really struggling.
Nobody knows what per is, but
we
you.
are bringing it. Yeah, you know, and Ronnie knows, and we can say it. And it's on the Twitter profile, per, short for person.
I think the LGBTQ non-binary folks aren't going to like it. That's part of it.
First of all,
I don't know why they wouldn't
disagree with you.
Yeah, I don't like the argument is that why would you be mad? Explain why.
Yeah, we're giving you your own pronoun, so be happy, right? Is that what you're saying?
It's not.
No, it's
we're not
for
giving.
All of us.
It's everyone's pronoun.
Okay, yeah,
it's your pronoun.
We're not labeling
so we're
a minority.
I'm so
yes.
slow. I'm
it's
so
like,
slow.
God.
Okay, so right, so my pronoun. I don't have to tell you my pronouns because everybody's a per.
Yes.
Yes.
I tell you,
That's why
I just got that.
Oh my God, I love you so much. Ronnie, I think we need to find another host.
Really,
Put the applications out there.
Okay, per. Okay, so this per.
And also, that's why it's on Twitter. Persons. Persons.
Got it.
Per.
Mm-hmm. Cat lover.
Okay, great. Now, can you get on board with that?
I'll try.
Okay.
I'll try. Yeah.
I think great.
Okay. So
this could be it, Nelsie.
I've seen some TikToks where people are arguing against the word they, like the pronoun they, because it's the multiple. It's like the what is it?
It's a plural.
Yeah,
singular. Yes.
Exactly. So people are getting confused.
We've talked about this. This is why I said let's go with per.
Yeah.
Right. And to which Jeffrey Marsh says, yes, but if you see, somebody's left their umbrella, I wonder if they will come back for it. Right? And you are using the word they singularly there. You're not wondering if a group of people is going to come back for their umbrella. You're just wondering if they.
But then that's a specific example of not knowing.
I am aware of that. I'm just saying that that's what people in the non-binary community, I think that's their take on it. But hey, we're going to go per, so it doesn't matter.
Thank you. All right.
That blew my mind right there.
You hurt my mind.
I don't know what that was.
I just feel angry at you for pushing back against per. Join me.
Oh my gosh.
I'm educating you. I'm raising you up.
Oh, thank God for you. Thank God. I don't know what I did before I met you. Raising me up.
Not
sister
know
friend.
these pronouns.
That you made up.
I didn't make it up.
Where'd you get it from? I thought you made it up. I thought you made
so
up
much. Welcome to today. Okay. I'll be happy to take credit for that, but I did not make that up. I learned of it from Marge Piercy's Woman on the Edge of Time, a book written.
The book, right? Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, a book written a long time ago.
I remember that. Yes, you're right. But you're the one who wants to bring it and use it contemporarily.
I'm not the
or
only
one. Other people are using it.
I don't care. Who cares?
But
what if I am the only person? Let's be trendsetters.
I'm fine with that. I'm just trying to get clarity.
That part I don't know. That part I don't know. I don't know. I can't. All right. I'm
just trying to clarify for myself.
In the outside
and
world.
Don't you fight with me because Ronnie will get upset.
I think let's do a TikTok then. Let's do a TikTok then of being also anti-they and instituting per.
Okay.
Oh, you're gonna
Let's
get
do our
gonna
own
be,
TikTok.
whoa,
What
we're
if
gonna get a
nothing's
lot
wrong?
of comments. We're gonna get a
Well, do
lot
it.
of comments.
Make the
on
TikTok now, Heidi. I'll turn it into a TikTok right now. Do it. Do it right now.
Instead of using they, use per. I just saw per the other day. Where did per go? No, that's not it.
All right, I guess
Well,
How
I'll
is
do this
Per?
off camera.
How is
No,
per?
no. Yeah. What's Per doing?
I was talking to Per the other day, and Per said, "I'm not playing like that."
Oh. Okay. Why was the example so intense? Why was it a threat?
You never know what you're gonna get from Per. You just never know. Because Per
I
can
couldn't
be
think of anything.
Whoa.
There's a lot of pressure. I'm doing a TikTok now, Heidi. Go.
Do it.
I wasn't prepared. I don't even know what's entailed in that.
You
I don't
won't
even know
like
what
me
to
when
do.
I'm
Should I
angry.
dance? Dance per out.
You should
Got
definitely
some
dance
dancing
so
in
people can duet you.
Per instead of they. Per instead of they.
I think we're about to blow this up. That's the next thing.
You know what?
Oh,
Does the person
edgy.
who starts something that gets blown up, do they know it's going to happen, generally speaking? No, they don't know. Do you think that the garlic nose knew it was going to be a thing?
Garlic nose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did anybody know that was going to be a thing? And then it became a thing.
Garlic
So-
didn't know.
I think
Yeah.
Mark
Garlic food did
Piercy
not know.
was brilliant. Oh, how much better can per be? It's not Q, it's not T, it's not anything. It's per, short for person. It's straightforward. We're all people. Person, per.
We're all people. Thank
So
you,
instead of
Heidi.
like elongating it to say, I saw a person the other day, which you could do. Also, a fine use of person. But pers, since we need to have a short
I think
pronoun.
it's cooler.
Thank you. See, Ronnie,
Right.
join me.
It's adding a new word to the dictionary, which happens all the time.
So
There's
how do we
actually
do
a
TikTok?
rapper. There's a rapper that she goes. She does that a lot, like purr, and they call it purr.
I mean, that's literally her purring.
Ever since we've introduced your
It's
little
not purring.
kitty, did you name
Really?
Did you name the kitten? Did you
I
name the
haven't
kitten?
named the kitten yet. The kitten's not here right now. The kitten's mingling
Kitten.
with its other
How did-
kittens,
What's Nelsie?
with the sisters.
What?
Nelsie's like cat? What?
You said purr.
Did you say purr?
You said
Kitty?
purr.
I haven't named. I
Oh,
haven't named
precious
her yet.
baby.
I haven't named
You got a
purr
name?
yet.
Haven't named
Yeah.
her yet.
Ronnie's
we
my
got
new
to name her.
bestie. All right. So profanity is okay, wrote. I believe most bullies were bullied at one point, and it's either all they know or their own defense mechanism. I'd also bet every kid that walked into a school and shot everyone was also bullied. Like any abuse victim, bullying victims all react differently. Some fight back.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's quite a
A few
quite
people
line
talked
there.
about how they got it at home. Almost all the boys in Fort Nelson were badly bullied. This is from David Gordon. The bullies themselves had been victims and usually got it worse than us from their own families.
Wow.
Oh,
Go
and
ahead.
here's my final one. Erica Alley at Erica Alley 79 wrote, "The people bully because it makes them inferior." I don't think that's what she meant, but lost my son to bullying. There's no excuse for someone to insult someone for how they dress, how they act or respond, how they talk, or just for existing. My son was 14. He didn't deserve it. Teachers ignored it. Kids use phones and computers. I've dealt with school when my son was younger. They knew who the bullies were. Didn't fix it till I came down there. I substitute now. I will not allow it. I make it clear. I'm all eyes.
Oh God.
jeez.
So sorry for your loss. My God.
Yeah.
I know
It
that
is, yeah.
I don't have anything. It's just so sad, and I'm glad that she's out there with all eyes. And
Yeah. And somebody else had written about commenting on this, my use of the word survivors in the original prompt,
Mhm.
and about how they were not appreciating the use of the word survivor because they said 100% of bullies survive. Those who get bullied, I'm sorry, survive. And which is obviously not accurate.
Not true. No, at all.
I-
Not at all.
And could think of multiple examples of how that's not true. And the number of kids out there who, to your point, even Ronnie, whether they don't literally survive or who are afraid to walk to school, afraid to go into school, afraid to
become homeschooled because they don't want to go back there.
Right.
Yeah.
Happens way too often. And oftentimes the schools aren't able to
do anything, control
solve it, save it. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I'm lucky that I even got to go to homeschool. Like that was even an option for me.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
My dad didn't even know what was going on. Yeah. I didn't tell him. I kept that.
Does he know now?
From him. He knows now. He knows. I told him later. Well, he found out actually, and he was so mad, but he did find out.
I can only
later.
imagine.
Yeah. But I didn't tell him. I wanted to keep it because I didn't want my dad to get involved. Like I didn't want to, be saved by my dad. You know what I mean? And that
because you felt that might make the bullying
make it worse. Yeah, exactly. But it's so hard. What do you even do? Like I don't even know. But I didn't tell him. I kept it a secret.
Yeah. I have a friend whose son was being bullied, and this was quite a while ago in a private school in Manhattan. And she went and spoke to the headmistress, actually, the head per, and
head perstress.
And
that was right. Head person.
Head person. And this was a very progressive school. But she was like, somehow the bully's behavior was protected. Somehow she completely minimized how it was impacting on my friend's son. And it was outrageous. She took her son out of that school, and actually my kids left that school as well for different reasons. But yeah, and it's I feel like it's similar to the way when there's a childhood sexual abuse victim, when some kid tells somebody uncle somebody's doing this, and like, oh no he's not, or that can't be right, he's such a nice guy. Just people not wanting to see the truth because they have to readjust reality. They have to look at this person differently, or maybe suggest that the world is different than how they view it. Oh, it couldn't be that bad, kind of a thing. So anyway, I feel like I might have gone on a tangent there.
I don't know who I keep thinking about in these one of the most severe cases of bullying and torture, combining, again, bringing it all together, is Matthew Shepard, and who's someone who was tortured and beaten because he was gay and died subsequently. So he did not survive that. And there are countless others that have died at the hands of bullies at various times, or taken their own lives because they've been bullied so much. Wasn't that whole Ronnie, what's the name of that show? I don't know why I'm Nelsie, you wouldn't know, but either one of you, the name of that show that I can't remember, that where the girl commits suicide. 13 Reasons Why.
13 Reasons. Was it? Yeah, 13 Reasons Why. Yeah, on Netflix.
And that it goes through the whole process of knowing or not knowing the tapes, right? Anyway, kids get severely bullied and parents don't necessarily know. I was watching a comic, I think the other night or the other day, and they were saying about people who end up with guns and who end up shooting up their high schools because they've been bullied, and where are the parents? And the parents going, oh, I had no idea what was going on. And then you just walk into the room and you'd see the AK-47s, you'd see all the stuff in there, but they just never even go in the kid's room.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And same with that show.
This happened.
Yeah. Same with 13 Reasons Why. There's so many things that are happening in each of these kids' lives that the parents are just so like, you okay, bud? Yeah, Dad. Okay, cool. Let me know if it's not. And that's the end of it.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
We've touched on a lot of topics without going deeply into many of them. We're going to circle back at some point because I'm CB now.
What is that again? What is
Circle
Circle
CB?
back.
Oh, circle
We're
back.
going to
okay.
circle back because I'm CB.
CB.
What does that
Okay.
mean? Circle back.
You're not allowed to make fun of him, Per.
That's a good joke.
Oh,
I like that.
You're gonna go down for a while for that one. I'm just now getting it. Just right now.
Once again, I could have just silently done that, but
Your
I
eyes just
admitted
could have
it
gotten really big and you're like,
because I'm
oh.
brave and I'm willing to be vulnerable. I'm
job,
willing to
Nelsie.
be vulnerable. Yes,
Thank you for your vulnerability,
Thank you.
Nelsie.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Thank you for yours, Ronnie.
Oh yeah, no,
yeah,
totally.
I think Ronnie's is a little
Yeah.
bit better.
We're not
Just try.
comparing, Nelsie.
Guess what, guys? Oh my God, you are on me today, Heidi El Haddad.
What are you talking about?
After
Today is like
saying-
every other
After
day.
saying, you know what? I'm going to try to go easier. so, Pers, we have a guest. Thanks to Ronnie F. Whaley, we have a guest who has a very interesting job, Lorenzo Godinez. Hey, Lorenzo.
Hi guys, thanks for having me tonight. Or well, what time is it where you guys are? But
It's
evening over here.
11:27 a.m. here, and I think it's 11:27 p.m. where you are. Am I correct?
Yeah, it is. It is
Yeah.
11:27 right now.
Yeah. So
That is correct.
That is correct.
We've gotten the timestamp. Check.
No, but yeah, I am excited to talk about aviation because it's something that I've stayed away from the past, year or so because of COVID, and it's been really affected. And it's nice to, come back to it and talk about it more and spread the word about it.
Yeah. And when he says talk about aviation, he's not talking about it from like just sort of like it's a hobby. Lorenzo is actually a pilot. Is that correct?
Yeah, I've
And
been
what kind of planes are you licensed to fly? How big?
Well, right now I'm on the Airbus 320, so that's about 180 people. But I mean, to get there, I started flight school at like flying 2-seaters, 152s, and then 172s. You kind of build your way up, and yeah, I started in 2012. So been
I love the
around for about-
152s, but I'm
Yeah.
partial to the 172.
I love the 152s.
Oh,
Yeah,
such
sorry
a
if I
big,
get-
such a nice
with-
plane.
with words. I mean, it's a Cessna. When you hear light
okay.
aircraft, you usually go with Cessna, and yeah, that's what people.
Just so you know, Lorenzo, we know nothing. I know that most
Yeah.
planes have two wings. They have a nose and a tail, and they go in the air.
And they have
And they go-
wheels so you could
They
land.
have wheels unless they're a seaplane, and then they have little pontoons.
yeah,
right?
yeah, floats on
Look
them.
at you with your fancy words. Pontoon.
Well, anyway, so the reason that we have Lorenzo, I got Lorenzo. By the way, Lorenzo and I are good friends.
Yeah.
we
And
grew up.
Ronnie's like,
together.
please,
Ronnie,
Nelsie
have you
and Heidi,
explained?
leave him alone.
No.
Stop it.
I haven't really explained you guys.
No,
Maybe,
Ronnie's
maybe you should.
Yeah.
Maybe you should have prepared him.
I
Yeah.
couldn't explain it. But the reason we got a pilot on is
Fair.
because we were talking about fear of flying and how when I was like, I don't know how many weekends ago, I met another pilot. I've been meeting a lot of pilots, and I was expressing my fear of flying. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of pilots here, right? So
Yeah,
some
there
reason.
are. There are.
yeah. So
There, I
there's,
mean,
there's a bunch. There's
Is the
flight schools.
Philippines a big oh, really?
Oh,
A lot of flight
And-
schools in the Philippines?
Yeah.
The Philippines is a hotspot also for foreigners who want to learn how to fly, sort of on a budget compared to other countries that offer the same thing.
I am glad to know this because my son is interested in flying. And I said, you have to take lessons. You can't just get in a plane and fly. And I was thinking to myself, that's going to be really expensive. And he said, when can I start doing that? And I said, I don't actually know. How old do you have to be to start taking lessons?
Well, you can start
He's 6.
flying not commercially, but you can start training at 17.
Okay, so he's got 10 years.
A decade.
Yeah.
Nice decade.
So
yeah. So
he's
just
got
start
10
putting
years to get to the
Philippines. I mean, you
You
should
got 10
still
years to get to the
consider
Philippines.
If the need for pilots is going to be that high, and I don't know, I'm starting to think that I might be the last generation of pilots. Maybe not in a sense, not ever, but in a sense where I don't think it's safe for a plane to fly without anybody really monitoring. But I think the amount of training for a pilot
So
job in the
basically,
future is
Nelsie,
going to
you and
be a
I
lot
could,
less because
if
of all of the
if we're looking
automation
for a
coming through.
job, we
There we
could get
go.
in there.
Yeah, that'd be
Once we
great.
get like a minimal amount of training,
Yeah,
we could
yeah.
just.
I'm
Woof.
pretty sure that
We
you
have
pull
a
back
fallback
when you want to
plan.
go up. You press
Fallback
down.
plan.
When you,
No,
yeah.
it's autopilot. It's autopilot,
Oh,
and then we're just there to
we're
like
just
make sure
hanging.
it's all running the way it
Yeah.
needs to run.
Telling people to look out their left window. You're going to see the
Nelsie,
Grand Canyon.
again, I don't think maybe that's what the person's getting trained on when you're
To look out the
flying.
window and describe things.
When you fly from New York to California, if you look to your right, you'll see this. If you look to your left, you'll see
From
the
New York
Grand
to
Canyon.
California, if you look to your right, you'll see Canada. If you look to your left,
You'll see
you'll
Mexico.
see South America. Yeah, Mexico. Good. Thank you. You're better at geography than I am.
Yeah, I think that I will be. I don't know. I think there's a good chance of me being somewhere at my age that's just starting in the airlines to be the last generation of pilots, because the level of automation is so high. I know that the systems, you have to be there to know everything, but I think that the skill level it will take to fly in the airlines of a big commercial jet in the future is going to be a lot lower compared to what it is right now.
Wow. So
kind of scary.
So-
Does scare anybody?
Should
I mean, now we
shouldn't
won't
that be scary?
Right. So meanwhile,
I don't
we
want-
won't care if the pilots are drunk or not. We
No.
don't care how old we care nothing. We're
No,
just as long
no.
as
I don't
I think
like
it's
that.
the same thing as like a train conductor.
Oh, it's like
I
on
don't
a
know what they
track.
I don't know what they do
a
either.
train is on a track. B, it's on the ground. So I feel like it's a little things are, to be in the air and just think that maybe the guy is doing a Sudoku puzzle because
Or
the
just
plane's-
like hoping that the computer system's on par, are just working fine as we fly to the Philippines to get our flight lesson, that we're just gonna hope the battery doesn't die.
All jokes aside, I mean, not aside from playing Sudoku and all of that, that's technically what we're doing. When we're cruising, we're just monitoring fuel and reporting where we are. There's not much happening. Even on landing, you could technically land the plane without doing anything. Like in most places in the world.
You're supposed to be decreasing the anxiety.
Yeah.
So
that's
my
just, I'm not
Yeah.
trying to increase
My heart rate
anxiety
just went
in
up.
saying that.
it's because it's
Sorry.
really automated.
No, it's because of the amount of redundant systems on the plane. That's why it can do that. If there was only one system that was able to do that, then obviously, the pilots like me wouldn't be using those systems first off. We'd fly it manually. We'd do everything we can to make sure it's safe. But since there's so many fallback measures that we can take, that if this fails and this fails, there's always a backup. It's endless.
And then
So-
the human is
really
the final
is.
backup.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah.
All right.
So
All right, I feel better.
Yeah, I do
All right.
too. I do too. I like there's so many backups.
So here's a question: Is there any point in time where, when you take off, that the plane's engines could explode?
Let's get to the nitty gritty.
No. We're not. I think
not?
you're making the relationship of like a space, like a rocket ship that goes into space and an airplane on the same level. It's not. It's like you see rockets like that explode. It's a lot of combustion compared to an airplane engine. Where really, when you see an explosion, like a small part will explode, but it's not gonna. Yeah, because this is also the fallback, all of the redundancy. It's not gonna domino effect into a big explosion.
They've worked all this out.
So
Because
why do planes go down?
Why do they go down? You can't really put it. You can't put it on one thing, really.
There's a variety of reasons.
Most
But
of the airline incidents and the air crash incidents that have happened have been a domino effect of both. I don't know, from the maintenance side to the aviation to the piloting side to everywhere. And
Weather, right?
weather's a big factor also, but with every crash or with every accident, it's a lot of investigation, a lot of changing, a lot of planes being grounded also. So I see it. Yeah, it's a tragedy that they do go down, but I mean, the chances of that for you, it's not
When you
what you
think
think.
about the statistics about how many flights there are and how many planes there are in the air every day,
Do you know what those are?
the percent, I don't know, but I know it's a really big number. And the percentage of crashes there are, and the percentage of crashes there are it's infinitesimal. But those are the things that we hear about.
Wait, so I just read that the annual risk of being killed in a plane crash for the average American is about 1 in 11 million.
It sounds
What is it
about
for what's it for a Filipino?
No, and I think you can't make that, like, you say it's safer than a car. For how I view it,
Who says
is
that?
Everybody says that.
when you're in a car. Yeah, when you're in a car, things, they happen so fast. It's like when something leads to a, when a crash happens, it happens in a matter of seconds. You don't have time to think. You just grab the wheel, try to do something. With an aircraft, this is my point of how safe, trying to make it safe, is that we get all of these problems fed to us. If there is one in the cockpit and it doesn't happen fast, we're able to think clearly. We can decide on a plan of action. And yeah, more often than not, it does lead to the best answer. And it's not like
Right,
you're not bombarded.
you're not careening towards another car, towards a wall. I know you're not floating, you're flying through the air and you're going very quickly, but it's not like there's a bunch of other planes that you might run into. So you do have that luxury of time, and with all those backup systems, it seems like
definitely.
Right?
Yeah,
They've been
it
thinking
really,
about that.
and you have time to think. I mean, most of the problems, like, it's not uncommon to get a problem on a plane in flight, during cruise, on landing, but it doesn't.
It's a lowercase p problem. It's not a big problem. It's just, something happened.
Yeah, exactly. And before that lowercase p goes to a big P, to a really big problem, you'll probably be on the ground. You'll probably be on the ground already, because if we catch something that we know will lead into a domino effect, yeah, you'll probably be on the ground already before you could even, before anything.
What if you're out, like, in the Pacific? You know what I mean?
This is
Where are you
Ronnie's
gonna
biggest.
land?
This is Ronnie's biggest fear, I think. Is this your biggest fear, Ronnie? The whole being over water?
My biggest fear is being over water and being in a plane for a very long time, like flying from the States,
Alive, right? or like landing on a top of a mountain, snowstorm. Snowstorm.
I mean, I don't know any of that. Like, well, the water thing is, I'm scared of like landing in the water. Right? You always see at the beginning of the flight, the emergency whatever you do when you land in the water and you go on those little slides, those inflatable slides,
which look like a lot of fun.
They do.
Yeah, and
they look
it
a little
always
bit fun.
looks like everyone in the video is like super calm. It's likely not very calm. You know what I mean?
No.
I mean, yeah, definitely it's not going to be a calm environment. And, the anxiety leading up to that, I can't even imagine. But like the amount of, to be able to get into that, to be able to get there to that situation, like, like what you're saying, crossing the Pacific Ocean, like, even, you can't just get in any plane and do that. You have to, with fuel, with waypoints, you have to have alternates, you have to be within a certain distance. I mean, these are all things that are happening behind the scenes, which a normal person wouldn't know. But I guarantee, like, flying over the Pacific Ocean, Hawaii's halfway. So you're gonna have two critical points. So you decide which is faster to go back, to go to Hawaii. There's always going to be options, and it's not going to be far away.
Yeah, and I would guess, I mean, this is obvious, but you're living it firsthand, that safety is what they're always thinking about. Safety is what they're always thinking about, because they're flying a huge machine in the air with people in it. So, they've got to make sure, and because if planes start going down and they're going down a lot, nobody's going to be riding in them, and then the airplane industry is screwed.
Safety is paramount, for sure.
Safety is paramount. So what's the scariest thing that's ever happened to you as a pilot? Or has anything scary happened to you as a pilot?
Do you really? Yeah. For the podcast, I mean, it's not. So we were flying in Manila, an approach from Hong Kong. We don't if we're flying for a budget carrier, so we don't really do layovers. We just go there, drop off passengers, pick up the next ones, and come back. And Hong Kong is only a 2-hour flight away from Manila. And on the way back, it was about 3 or 4 in the afternoon. Clear weather, no problems, not much traffic, and we're getting instructions to come in for landing. And we're really low. We're about 2,000 feet or 2,500 feet, and we're making a turn to go around the runway. 2,500 feet for a large jet. That's really, really low. That's already, you're on final approach, seeing the runway already.
What altitude do you guys usually cruise at, so we can have that comparison?
Is it like 50,000, 40,000?
No, that's we're cruising around 40,000 feet to 25,000 feet.
Okay. So
within that range.
You're 90% kind of down compared to how you are.
We're coming in for landing, and there's supposed to be no traffic in front of us. I mean, we're cleared for the approach by.
Why are you laughing? Did I miss something? Heidi?
Just enjoying you, Nelsie. So you're at so that's about 90%. If I do the correct calculation, if my math is on point, I mean.
Oh, she mocks me. But I appreciate you just didn't say anything. You just.
Yeah, we were at 2,500 feet, and we have a system on the airplane that can detect all other aircrafts around us, traffic. Just in case that it's coming within our vicinity, it'll give us instructions to descend or to ascend, and it'll give the other plane instructions to go down. So we avoid each other.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, it was this, I don't know, this flying school kid learning how to fly, I guess, in Manila airspace. I don't know what he was doing, or he was doing a fish run, or I don't know what it was. But I pick it up on my navigation display, and he's coming straight for us. And our warnings and our warning systems tell us to descend. And I'm thinking, we're at 2,500 feet. We're going to be in the water. I mean, the water's right there, and that's red flag for you. You have to follow that. You have no choice but to descend the aircraft. And so we descended.
So you're in. Wait. You're in how big of a plane versus this kid, and how big's
we're in a 180 passenger jet, and he's in a 4-seater, tiny little Beechcraft.
Oh my God.
And I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what he was doing, what clearance he got to be in that airspace at that time. But yeah, we had to descend the plane. We had to follow what it was telling us to do, and
because it's an automatic.
It's an automatic system.
So that's why you have no control over it. So you have to follow it because
it's called a TCAS, and that just means a traffic collision avoidance system. So you have to follow that. Just when you get near traffic, it'll notify you. It'll say traffic, and when it does tell you to resolve an issue, you will have to maneuver the plane going down, up, pretty much up or down. And we were instructed to go down. And we were already at 2,500 feet, which is extremely low for a jet. And just in time. And he crossed right over us. And I didn't even have to ask. I didn't even have to ask air traffic control what his call sign was, because I could read it on the bottom of his plane.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So
I will never get on a plane again, man.
Yeah. Sorry, I shouldn't have asked that question. I'm so sorry, Ronnie. Sorry. Ronnie's going to take a rowboat if he comes to the U.S. next time.
Why was here? Since
why are we ignoring the fact that he survived?
Yeah, let's talk about why you survived that and why it was safe and everyone is alive.
Yeah, I mean that aircraft for sure did not have a traffic collision avoidance system at all. And I don't know what he did it because usually that's reserved for the larger airline jets. And I don't know, for some reason he was in airspace that he wasn't supposed to be. Either he didn't know the rules, and air traffic control was busy. They didn't really pick it up, and it was kind of what we call the Swiss cheese model, where if you put Swiss cheese next to each other, there's holes in them, and it kind of just works its way through all of those holes, and it leads to something like that. But
Okay,
that's
so
really
we've got it.
something normal.
Let's get back to that's not A, that's not normal, and B, there was not a collision. So those
because of the system on your aircraft.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And how since you did have to descend, and this was probably your first and biggest sort of emergency, what were you thinking, and how did you manage to descend even though you were so low? And
See, I don't know if I was even thinking, because I was thinking, but no, I was
Once
thinking,
again,
but
comforting.
it's so automatic because we have to go through these procedures every 6 months. I mean, we can lose our job. I can lose if I was still in the airlines pre-pandemic days. Every 6 months you can lose your job. Like, pretty much, you go to the simulator every 6 months, and if you don't pass the emergency procedures, they won't hesitate to kick you out of the airlines. And these procedures pretty much every airline, they'll kick you out if you don't meet the standards, and you have to prove that every 6 months. So it is that. I mean, it's a really strict industry.
Correct my understanding of what's happening, though, is that if we can compare it to something that we all know, which is driving. So you're in one of these newer vehicles that has anything comes close to any side of your vehicle, beep, 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 right? And then there are those cars, which I don't know which ones they are, that have that automatic, that I see them advertised, where they have an automatic emergency brake situation. So what I'm hearing is that there is a automated system that's happening in the plane, that it's detecting that something is in your airspace, and it's telling you that you need to descend or ascend. But is the plane descending or ascending on its own, or you actually have to do the ascension?
We have to do that. But just recently, I think in the past couple of years, it's automatic already. I've been in a simulator. I've never used it in real life, but I've been in the simulator for that exact event where it did respond to a traffic avoidance incident on its own. I was in the simulator for that exact event where, we were supposed to respond to a traffic collision avoidance system with a resolution, either to put the plane down, or to make it climb, to descend, or to ascend. And it did it automatically. It sensed it it detected it on its own, and we were just there to monitor that it was doing, to make sure it was doing that. If it wasn't responding, then we'd override and take over to make sure it really does it on its own.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. All right. Well, I feel better. I feel safer. I do. I really do.
I have to say, I feel the same.
Yeah.
What about you, Ronnie?
I mean,
Since Nelsie and I already
no,
were
I
okay
know,
flying,
Ron,
but
all right.
so
Here, Lorenzo, could you explain to me again? Because I know I've asked you this multiple times, but could you explain turbulence to me and why it's safe and it's not the reason that I'm gonna crash in this plane?
All right. Yeah, turbulence is just a movement of air, either going up, down, right, left, moving around. And here, I'll give you an example of what turbulence can be like. So, we're landing in a crowded, like a really very populated city, say like Manila, for example. We're landing in Manila, and on final approach, when the aircraft is really low near the runway, there are like a lot of houses, and usually the houses, they have metal roofs and stuff like that. Well, here in the Philippines, they have metal roofs, and that creates heat. So when that heat bounces off the roof and pushes the air up, that's when you'll feel it on the plane. And that's just a layman's example of what happens thousands of feet up in the air. Also, it's just a movement of either hot, cold air, just like how
Going up or down. Yeah.
just like how clouds are formed. It's just moisture that goes up. It's super cool, and it turns into a cloud.
But it's shaky. You know what I mean?
Of course,
Right,
I mean, it's
because
not
you're
still air.
Why is it shake? Why is it shaky like that? And if I was the reason I'm scared of that is because if I'm in a plane, I have no idea. Also, I was in an incident. I've told this story before where I was going to Malaysia and my nose of the plane dipped down, right? And I've recently, or not recently, but I've understood that it was I forget what it's called, but it was like a wind hole or something like that, right? And when that happened, and I was terrified, I was having a panic attack on a plane. The pilot didn't say anything. He didn't
I
address
think,
it.
honestly, I've never, as a pilot, like, I don't believe in these air pockets and stuff where the plane just like instantly drops. It doesn't.
It was like this. It
It
was like
doesn't.
the nose came down like really fast. It didn't drop like this. It nose came down really fast like that, and then it like leveled out.
Honestly, the only thing I can think of that would happen is you reached your top of descent where the air traffic control wants you to start your descent, and for some reason maybe the pilots were delayed on their descent and they decided, oh crap, we gotta go now. So they got clearance, and yeah, they tried to catch their descent angle to what they needed it to be.
But,
So
okay, fine. But
don't
concern,
suggest to Ronnie that the pilot wasn't paying attention, so they had to
See,
make a
my concern
correction.
Oh
was-
shit! I gotta go now.
my concern was is that the pilot didn't say anything afterwards, and like I was sitting in front of me, and the person in front of me is like champagne was floating in the air for like a millisecond because of how fast it went down, and we're all like,
fun.
oh my god, what's going on? But then if the pilot would be like, oh no, don't worry about that, that was whatever, explain the situation, I would have been like, oh okay. But he just said nothing for the next 2 hours. What's up? Why did he do that?
I don't know. I guess like from our standpoint, it's so normal. I mean, we fly every day, and I don't think that's something that we have to.
It's not like it's not required of a pilot.
Do they? Is there any protocol around that?
Yeah.
Because Lorenzo, you go to school and you learn all the technical, you learn all about aviation and lift and draft and whatever. But do they talk to you at all about sort of this relationship between you and the passenger? Do they talk about that?
Yeah, definitely. But that doesn't really come in the training. That comes in more when you're in the airline already and you do training with the airline. But in flying school, not really. But yeah, definitely we do. I mean, safety is really paramount for everything, and we do our best to read the weather forecast to notify the crew, because we'll know when it'll be a rough flight, when we'll be using the jet stream, stuff like that, and we'll tell them, from this hour to this hour, we'd like you guys to be seated, and we'll have it ahead of time. Most of the time, yeah, we'll know way ahead of time before anything really major when it comes to turbulence or whether anything happens. Like for us, nothing out of the blue.
Ronnie, I think that's going to be specific somewhat to the pilot too. Sometimes,
by the way, Lorenzo, this was a Malaysian Airlines.
Okay.
It was.
Don't worry about that, Ron. It's all good, man.
I'm not even lying.
No,
Ronnie,
but
what if nothing's wrong?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
What if-
That's why we have
what if
Lorenzo
nothing?
here.
So Lorenzo, did you always want to be a pilot? Were you like a 5-year-old kid that, always liked airplanes? And did you know that this is what you always wanted to do?
I don't think it was really in me, but I think that I owe my parents a lot for it also, because I think my mom saw me from a young age, saw that I could not be behind a desk or behind a computer, like seeing how I grew up. I'd always like to be outside, and she sort of like pushed me a little bit in that direction. When I was young, how cool would it to be a pilot? And from there, it kind of stuck on me, and I couldn't really see myself doing anything other than flying as I grew older, and I just pursued it from then on.
Did it
You're
turn
like
out
desk
being
job or pilot?
Hey, don't get me wrong. I mean, there's pros and cons of being a pilot. It is a job at the end of the day. I mean, I love it, but we don't have holidays like regular people. We don't have weekends to look out to to enjoy. My day offs are usually like a Tuesday and a Wednesday, and I can't get anybody to really hang out with me and stuff like that. But other than that, it's it's great. It's great.
What's your favorite part? Like, when do you think this is great? I'm like you're sort of living the dream
I think
Right now.
I think
right now.
That's a good answer, though. No, but all aspects
Thanks.
of it. I mean, yeah, I think just flying, getting in the aircraft, and I look forward. I mean, yeah, I look forward to. I find it cool to fly in the rain. Honestly, I like it. I know. I don't know if
There's
that sounds
turbulence
weird.
in the rain. Isn't
Yeah,
there
you know,
turbulence?
Ron, when it comes
Do you
to
like
turbulence,
that?
sometimes pilots like
You
it
like
and we
that?
look for it. Just like
Are you
looking for the
serious?
No, I'll
Don't
explain
say
to you.
that.
Just like no, it saves a lot, you know, for the environment, and it saves a lot for the airline industry. Like
How
you know,
does it
flying
save?
here,
How
look,
does it say that?
if we're
Okay.
flying from here from Manila to Korea, you're flying north, and we're looking at the jet stream, which is a a fast moving, like a fast air movement up high in the like I don't know. It's different. The altitudes change, but
You can make it up. None of us know.
yeah. Sorry, okay. No, but it does
Can-
change, and we look for that. And because if we get a tailwind, we're cruising at like what 35,000 feet, and we're getting a huge 100 knots tailwind. We're going so fast. We're burning hardly any fuel, and it just saves money for the airline, saves money, saves the environment, and it saves everything. And yeah, it might not be the smoothest ride, but yeah, there's
So
nothing
next
wrong
time
with
so
it.
I'm in a plane and there's turbulence, I should be like, at least I'm saving the planet.
yes.
Yeah.
Just think
There
I
you
about
guess
the
you can see
environment.
it that way, man. Yeah.
I
Instead
just-
of like,
just-
breathing and sweating and praying.
Right. Think
Just
about
thank you,
those
Mother
polar.
Earth. Thank you,
Think
Mother
about the
Earth.
polar bears and the ice flows. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Yeah, we've now figured out how to deter people from having anxiety on planes.
But that I never knew that. That is pretty fascinating. That oftentimes the turbulence happens because you're like riding along on a jet stream.
Yeah, we are.
Right?
I mean, and it's great. We're going super fast, burning not so much fuel, and we're getting there. Safely,
Can you
safely.
feel as a pilot? We're getting there safely. But and so when you're flying, so you're because trees aren't passing you or buildings aren't passing you. Can you feel a difference when we're in a jet stream? Do you know what I mean?
No, you can't feel
Okay,
the
didn't
difference.
think so.
We just see it on our navigation
And you're like,
display.
look, the engines aren't even on. Look at that, man.
That would be fine too. I mean, yeah. So a lot of people think that in these big commercial jets, if the engines go out, the plane's gonna drop like a rock. But no way, it's gonna glide down. It's not
gonna
gonna
glide
drop.
down.
Oh,
Did you hear
It will
that,
glide
Ronnie?
down.
No
Is it
dropping
so-
like rocks. No rock
So
dropping.
do you have 4 engines on your plane or 2?
No, the one I fly only has 2, but we can even take off on one engine only.
You can take off on one.
That's just to take a look at what we do every 6 months. One of the training is that we're rolling down the runway, right about to take off, and we lose one engine. So like right as the plane lifts off,
You don't turn back.
and you don't know which. Yeah, we
Don't
do turn back.
But you
There's
have
a
to
lot
take
of-
off because you're doing it, right? Like you're ready.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can't just
There's
you can't brake.
There's a point. There's a speed where you can't. Yeah, you have to go.
Yeah.
There's no turning back whatsoever. And it's completely fine.
So I
even
saw
a
this
4-engine
video-
plane can take off on one.
I saw this video with this plane. The engine was like on fire, like on the wing, right? And it was terrifying. You saw that video?
He's like, yeah, when you showed it to
Yeah.
me.
And case in point,
Said,
Yeah,
"When
when
this
case in point,
happened."
it's not gonna explode like a rocket will explode. That'll happen, structural damage, but it's not gonna explode.
Yeah. So, that plane did land safely, and everyone was fine, but it was terrifying. You know what I mean?
but no one on that plane ever flew again.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if I was on that plane. I would be taking cruises everywhere.
I mean, but this is about focusing on that which is negative and not the positive side, which is that the plane landed and everybody
The
was
plane
safe.
landed.
Yeah,
Yes, that's
yeah.
true.
No, the plane landed and everyone was safe, and it's all about so many backup systems that they have, and every 6 months a pilot has to go and do all these simulations and pass all these safety tests. All right.
Wait, in
I
the
feel
lands
better.
of COVID, I have a question. In the land
Yeah.
of COVID, how clean are the planes really?
They're they are clean and they are filtered. If anything, I'd worry about is probably, don't quote me for this, washing your hands on the plane. Yeah, maybe that's not the best idea, or or
'Cause the
some people
water's
say
because the water is the same water like from the septic system or something.
no, not that. It's the water's fine. It's filtered. It's my problem personally is with the pipes and where the water is stored. These aren't replaced or cleaned or anything. They're only checked, like, my best recollection, like 4 times a year. But they're not changed. Or they just
They're
They
not
need to
changed.
be. I mean, how?
I mean,
what are
maybe
the
like
pipes?
that,
Why
yeah.
are
I'm not a
do your-
mechanic. I'm only a
pipes,
pilot.
Yeah,
alright?
the pipes
I'm
in your
not-
house. Do you change those? You know?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I'm not drinking the water, or I'm not. This is all one system. We're dealing with. It's not. The
That's what I'm
water's
saying.
not
So you're
coming
saying
from separate tanks.
from the one that's going down the toilet?
Well, it depends on. I mean, that's super technical already. I'm not. Depends on the type of aircraft and how new it is, but I don't know. I just stick to wet wipes and alcohol.
Alcohol
Couple of
drinking
wet
or
wipes and then a
alcohol
couple of shots.
spraying?
Some wet
Yeah.
wipes and some shots. Yeah.
I know it did sound like that. I just get really drunk.
Only
and
when
use
he's
wet
sitting in the
wipes.
jump
I'm
seat.
fine.
He's not flying. He's only in the jump seat.
No, but I think this is perfect for the show. I remember one flight that I was flying
It's kind of
from
gross, by the way.
from an airline. What was that?
I'm just thinking that's kind of gross. Like, I mean, when I go to the bathroom, I wash my hands in the bathroom, and now you're saying don't even bother, just like have alcohol.
No,
I mean, I don't touch anything in there. I'm using a towel to get out, and then I like shove it down. I don't touch anything, and now you're like,
No,
don't
I
even
mean,
wash your hands. Just add that to the.
I'm not saying. I mean, a lot of people do it, and nothing has happened really. It's just, I guess, it's personal preference.
There have been no death-related incidents connected to washing your hands.
Ronnie, you should be more worried about the water from washing your hands than you should about the turbulence. That's my takeaway.
I bathe in that stuff, so I mean, I should be.
No, wait.
So what
here,
about
guys,
washing
before
your
I
hair?
forget,
What?
Yeah.
Go.
before I lose my train of thought, so I was flying a flight back to Manila. I was based in Manila at the time from this area called Tacloban, and our the cargo was done. It was loaded and everything. We had pretty much all our passengers on board, and one of the head flight attendant comes into the flight deck. I was just expecting him to give us the papers, and he tells me, this girl is frantic and she's having a panic attack in the first row, and she wants to get off the plane. And I'm just, oh, what? No way! Like, what's happening? And she's hysterical. She's like, it was just everything, and there was no way of trying to get her to stay on the plane. And we're all thinking like, and I look at the captain and I'm thinking, if we unload her from the plane, that's gonna be quite a long delay also, because we have to look for her bag, with security to search the aircraft again before everybody leaves. And so I decided to just go out there and have a talk with her also. And yeah, she was having a panic attack, and she settled down after a good maybe 2 or 3 minutes, and she still, like, I brought her inside the flight deck, to explain.
But what
her
did you say?
systems.
What did you say?
Yeah. What did you say to her?
No, I was just explaining to her, like, I was telling her, like, we have, exactly what I told you, all of these backup systems, the autopilot, we have 2 of them, we have 2 engines, look at the weather. I showed her the weather reports, just kind of, for me, I just wanted to put her on the same level to see what we're seeing and why we feel so confident to fly in the airplane. And she did settle down after a while, and she got back to her seat, and I checked up on her when we were in the air. And she seemed to be handling it like a pro. But honestly, that was a big change for me. I did not expect her to. I really thought that she was
How
not
long
gonna
was the
ride
flight?
that plane. It was like an hour and 10 minutes.
Wow.
that's not too
And now
bad.
you guys are engaged now. Is that right? So happy
Yeah,
for
dude,
the two
when
of you.
when you're like showing her the stuff, like everyone in their seats are like, "Are you fucking? What's going on? Like, what the fuck?
No,
like,
they-
you giving him a
no,
tour
they-
over here?"
See, that's why it was so surprising to me, because when I first saw her, she was frantic, dude. Like, she was so, like, I was convinced she was not gonna ride the plane. And a good 20 minutes later, we're climbing, passing 15,000 feet, and I give her the thumbs up, and she's good to go. She's all right. It was that quick of a.
That is the beginning of a rom-com. Am I right? Right. And then at the end of the flight,
that would
she
be the
tries to
end.
find.
The-
She tries
the
to
beginning
find
and
you.
end. Oh, okay. There
She
it
tries
is.
to find
Here's the
you,
story.
and you are looking for her, and you guys just miss each other, right? And then she just keeps flying, hoping to find you. It's a rom-com. It's a rom-com.
And then she ends up getting her pilot's license.
Yes.
Baby.
Yes. And then you do skydiving together. Oh my God. It's so
where'd
good.
she find him? She went to flight school and then they're skydiving.
Yeah.
You were on a great trajectory.
Well, I was trying to give it a sequel, yeah. Okay. So
No, but yeah, it was just shocking for me to see that. But yeah,
well,
I guess
that's very
I don't know
impressive,
if-
Lorenzo.
I don't know if she really had a problem. I don't know if it was with our airline, with flying. I really think it was flying, but to see that quick of a change was just what amazed me the most.
I mean, I would feel the same. Like, if I could talk to the pilot, like sometimes I wish
That's why you're here, Lorenzo,
Yeah.
so we can talk to a pilot.
like sometimes I wish I had
Ronnie's
like a
gonna have you on
phone in my
speed dial.
seat. You know what I mean? And be like, "Is everything
Pilot?
good? All right." And then I really wish I could do that.
Can you imagine that, Lorenzo? Just getting him like,
I can't.
5C is calling.
Oh
Hold
my
on.
God.
What? No, everything's fine.
Because
5C, you're fine.
24C is calling again.
30 seconds.
Yeah, it'll just be me. Like, so it's all good, right? When do we get
So
the
that
food?
bump was okay. Was that bump okay? Are we there yet?
No, but that's something you should work on, Ron. I mean, if you have fear with like a big jet, come fly with me on like a smaller plane.
I don't want to get in a plane. The reason I don't want to get in a plane with you is because I feel like you're gonna show off. And I don't want to do that.
No. I will not.
It works
Are you
for
scared?
someone.
You see this? Check this out. Doing like barrel rolls and shit. I don't want to do that. We'll see. We'll talk about it.
Don't worry about it. We'll do a good flight over Pinatubo and it'll be fine, man.
Yeah. So like behind the scenes is so cool. And you're like, how old are you? 12? How old are you?
No, I'm 26
14.
right now. I'm 26 now.
You're 26 and you've been flying for how long?
In the airlines, 3 years, but I've been flying since 2012, 13, around that time.
What? So since you were 18, I can't do the math.
Since I was 19.
19. Okay. Wow. That's so cool.
So wait, I just a quick question going back to the COVID thing for a second and how disgusting the pipes are. What is the difference between pre-COVID and in COVID within the aviation industry?
We're a total mess, honestly, especially here in the Philippines. But the aviation industry has been hit so hard, and yeah, it's really tough mentally, also for myself. Not knowing what to do. We're really highly skilled people, but we can't. Our job is so specific that it's hard to branch out into other industries, especially in a time of COVID where everybody's really grappling for their jobs.
Lorenzo, I kind of have a really good idea for you. I think, given the way you talked that woman down, and given how many people on the planet are freaking out, I want you to consider getting a social work degree, because I feel like that was amazing what you did for this woman. And you don't have any training, and you can't fly the plane anymore, but with no training, you took a woman who was having a panic attack.
You got people skills.
You have people skills.
You got people skills.
And you know what else? You got moxie.
So have you been working or
no?
are you
I've been retrenched since well, I tried to help the aviation industry starting last year. We were asked if anybody wanted to take a pay without leave, and that was about June or July 2020. And I said, might as well take a 6-month leave without pay. I talked about it with my parents, and they thought that going to Spain, since I'm a Spanish national, and looking for a job there, or seeing what I could do there, what the options are. So I went there for 6 months, and then when I came back, pretty much got retrenched from AirAsia, who I was flying for at the time. And
What does that mean?
Tell us what the
is
verb
retrenched?
retrenched means. You got retrenched.
Like retrenched, yeah, you're pretty much just, I don't know,
Grounded?
short for fired.
Oh.
Like your services are no longer.
That is not what I
So
expected.
they don't want to say fired. You know what, Lorenzo? We think you're great, but we were thinking we might retrench you because they don't want to have to say fired.
But such an interesting word too, because it sounds like there's a
They're
this is
redoing
parts-
something.
Did it mean that like you were
No,
on
I
hold
just-
or like on leave?
It just means that it's either you're retrenched or you resign. If I were to resign, then I wouldn't receive my separation pay and stuff like that. But if the company does retrench you, then you are entitled to all of these benefits. For however many years you've served the company, you will get some sort of payback for it.
Yeah.
So you do get payback annually. I mean, if you work there for 3 years, you'll get paid for 3 years, type of thing, or some sort of
I wish
compensation.
it was like that. Honestly,
Yeah, right. Right. That's too much.
That's
Okay,
how
that
it
was
should
dramatic.
be.
That was
Who do
too
we
much.
talk to? Who do we talk to?
No, but I hope that it does get better because the aviation industry is really struggling right now, and
Yeah, absolutely.
hopefully it does. No, but thanks. I have a hard time explaining things sometimes, but yeah. Thanks for
You did a
sticking with me.
fantastic
Perfect
job. Fantastic
Perfect.
job. We learned a new verb. I did not know retrenched before, and I really truly do feel safer now. And I will not wash my hands in an airplane bathroom.
Or I will,
And-
but then I'll put them in bleach on the way out.
But Lorenzo, seriously, thank you so much for coming
Thank
on.
you. Yeah.
No, thank you guys.
And
I do feel like I
if you
learned a lot,
decide to
too.
go down the social work road, Heidi can give you some pointers.
Great.
All right.
That would be nice.
Yeah. Good luck with figuring it out. I hope that you can get untrenched soon. I loved having him on. That was awesome. Yeah. And I do feel so much better. I learned so much.
Really? And
We don't need to reflect on it. We don't want to. I'm sorry.
She
I just
starts
didn't,
to reflect, and then I join in, and then she cuts me off. Okay.
No, it wasn't. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Nelsie. I'm just
Done.
thought there were other things. I know we wanted to get to some TikTok, so
Yes,
I
you're
thought
right. No, you're
I was
right.
just aware of the time. That's all.
Aware of the time.
I didn't
Aware of the
think
time.
Anyway,
We've been
Ronnie.
sitting here for 2
Ronnie.
hours.
Ronnie, what's
Okay.
happening on TikTok? You had some TikTok shit going
You
on.
got some
am I right?
TikNoks. What you
TikNoks.
got? Knock
I got some TikTok shit right here for you guys. So there's this new trend on TikTok. As you guys probably know, TikTok is a very stupid place. I'm just kidding. But
that yes.
but this has to do with that. But kids are going back to school in person, right? In the States. Like people are slowly transitioning to, maybe it's, half a week or whatever, but people are seeing face-to-face teachers and classmates and stuff.
Correct.
And because of that, TikTok got involved. And now there's this new trend.
Of course they did.
It's I forget what it's called. You know what it's called? It's called the devious lick. And it's this new trend that you go to school on your first day of school, you steal something from the school and you post it on TikTok. So this is this is what's happened. So here are a couple TikToks. Well, I'm going to show you 4 TikToks. They're all very short. They're TikToks. So we'll take turns on who describes what we're doing here. So Nelsie, why don't you take this first one?
Okay.
Nelsie always gets to go first.
Heidi, you take it.
Yeah, because I know it pisses you off.
He's gonna wield that power he's got. Nelsie, you go first.
right.
Now, Heidi, you're going last.
Here.
Heidi,
What is
go
it
ahead.
here?
I
Why
want
don't you
to.
read
I'm
it?
gonna
Why don't
bring
you
it
read what
up.
it says?
Who?
Nelsie.
First month into school and already got this absolute devious lick. Someone is taking out of their backpack a wet caution floor sign
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Got it.
So this is what the type of stuff
over
that
and
people
over
are stealing.
again. Okay.
Yeah.
I got nothing
I
to say
can't
about
play
that.
music because we'll get taken down.
Yeah. So it's
So,
a,
so
yeah.
here's the second one.
No one's beating this lick. What?
What is
Oh,
it?
is that
You
is
guys-
that the dryer from the bathroom?
It's a hand dryer.
The hand dryer from the bathroom, taking it out of their JanSport backpack. Wow, they had to like rip
That's
that
pretty
off the
impressive.
wall.
That's pretty
Wow.
impressive. All right,
Wow.
now here's another one.
Hit a absolutely delicious lick. Oh,
Oh
What's
my
happening?
god!
What's
they're
happening?
taking
Oh my
the strainers. What I don't even know. What are those called?
Urinal cakes.
The urinal
Oh
cakes.
my
Is that a cake?
God.
It makes it not smell, or it's thing.
Yeah, that's what that's for. Yeah.
It's
it's
like
a-
it's we don't.
They touched
Heidi
it,
and I
and
have
they're not
never
even wearing a
Yeah,
glove.
touch them. Just pulled them right out.
I can't even. They're
It's
not
so
even wearing gloves. Who does that? That can't be real.
Oh
What do you
my
mean?
God.
He's doing it right there.
Or
He's doing it
she.
right there.
Per's doing
we
it.
know what to go on it. It's a boys' bathroom.
I
So
know.
what?
but
Oh, really? Because
I wonder if
other
boys-
people besides boys don't go in the boys' room.
girls are more
all right.
decent than this.
Is that it, or is
Oh
there
my
one more?
God.
There's one last one.
Meanwhile, that person's handle was gang banging Koopa.
Gang banging Koopa, killing it with the urinal cakes.
All right, describe what you're looking at here.
Per will never live that down.
About to hit the biggest lick of all licks. Oh man, the person took down the entire row of sinks. How did they do that?
It's fucking insane.
That is
Oh,
totally
man.
insane.
What?
There's
has
about
happened?
4 sinks. It's
Like,
You know,
like
they're all
big,
attached. It's a
long-
big
like
metal.
solid
They-
15 feet long.
They ripped it down.
And what is
Ripped it off the wall.
duet this if you can one up my lick? Does anybody one up that lick from
Yeah.
Trent?
you know what?
I
I
imagine so.
Wait,
This is how
Trent
it started.
Solitak.
03.
I picture big things for this person. I think they're going to just really.
I mean, to me, this is just destructive.
It is.
And
It's
just
ridiculous.
creating work for people at the
What
school
has
and
happened to
money.
humanity?
They have to spend money in the schools where everybody already complains about the schools
Right.
not having any money.
Oh my
So,
now-
so because of this, they're like putting locks on things. So they've put locks on like people have been taking the soap like dispensers. So they've now chained soap dispensers. See, this is why we can't have nice things.
What is the purpose of this?
Did
What
your
is the
mom-
purpose?
Oh, it's just ridiculous. It's you know what the purpose to get likes on TikTok. Am I right, Ronnie?
Is it? I mean,
I don't
this is.
know. I
You
don't know.
started this story by saying, okay, so kids are going back to school, and they're mad about it, or because
No, I don't
all
think
the,
that's it at
last
all.
year it
I
was
think
about
it's
the
a
kids
one-up
being like, I
thing.
just want to go back to school. I just want to go back to school, and now they're in school and destroying it.
It's stupid.
It's
ridiculous.
just like daring each other. Oh, and one upping each other.
It's a very high school thing to do, if you think
Oh,
about it.
man.
Yeah, but the guy with
Yeah.
the urinal cakes, I think, takes the cake.
The cake,
Pun not intended.
ba-dum-bum.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, why would you take that? And secondly, why would you touch it? And thirdly, then why would you videotape it to let people know that you did it? I mean, none of it makes sense. You know, I thought the hand dryer was the best one.
Which one?
How
The
do you
hand
even-
dryer.
Yeah.
Only, I
That's-
mean, it is destructive. I'm not endorsing it. Don't get me wrong, but you know, kind of cute the way they fit it in the fanny pack, you know.
It is not a fanny pack. That was a backpack, and
Oh,
you
whatever.
couldn't see it because it was so tiny. It looked like a fanny pack on your
It
screen,
did.
but it
It
was
looked like
actually
it
a
looked like
normal size JanSport backpack. And I think I'm going to go for the cakes because it got the biggest reaction.
Okay. Ronnie, your favorite? Did you have a favorite?
I love them all. I love them all.
Oh,
I love
Can
them
you
all.
can you top
Forever the
can you top
diplomat.
it? Can you
Can I
top the
top it?
sinks?
I don't know if you can. I saw another video of these 2 kids walking out of school holding tables, like pretending, like trying to act normal as if, there's walking, like that's
Yeah.
As if they're
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
day walk around
Yeah.
with tables under their arms.
like
yeah.
like Mrs. White, the history teacher, asked us to move these tables from here to there.
Exactly.
Right?
But
They're
they were
just like-
holding it like this, like they were like this is like, it's like a table with one pole in the middle, and
Yeah.
they're holding it like this, and
Oh
they're
my
just walking
God.
down. So, yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Wow.
the future is in great hands.
Yeah, I'm feeling confident.
So
First, we just
confident.
learned from the 26-year-old Lorenzo that this is the last generation of pilots, and now we've learned the next generation
It's just going to be taking shit.
nitwits.
A generation.
I feel very
of
hopeful.
nitwits.
Thank God everything's going to be automated.
Yeah, I think there's a reason.
Right.
Yeah.
They're like, quick, do you see what's coming? Let's automate everything.
Everything. And get some chains because we need the chains.
Because we're going to steal it.
All right, guys.
All
That's all the
right.
time we have today. And
It's such a good time with you two. And
I did too.
Zoe.
Zoe
Mr.
was
Zoe.
adorable. I don't mean to say that in like a condescending way. I really liked him. He was great and so interesting. And it is so cool to like, when do you ever get to talk to a pilot? Did you feel better,
talked to
Ronnie,
pilots
or
a lot.
worse?
Questions.
Ronnie, do you feel better or worse?
I've taught at this point. I've probably logged about 100 hours of pilot conversations with pilots.
Questions by Ronnie. Ronnie's going to start a new podcast.
It's just me like frantically and anxiously asking questions to
Questions to the pilots. You keep
The
having different
podcast is
pilots
just
on
called
and asking.
Talking to
see
pilots.
what kind of talking to pilots.
Ronnie talks to
It's
pilots.
the same questions.
Yeah. Welcome
Me
to
and the
Ronnie
pilots.
Talks to Pilots. Yeah. We're going to talk, about turbulence again today. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
Don't even say that. Just say, okay, hi, we've got this person on, and tell me about turbulence, as if you haven't asked it 4,000 times before.
Where do you land, no pun intended, on washing your hands in the bathroom?
When you're out to pack, the Father doesn't recognize you. Find your joy. When you're spooning with a stranger and they won't let you kiss them. Find your joy. When your house reeks of weed and your kids hallucinating. Find your joy. Find your joy. When you're sick, your dick and skimpy, when your dog likes Jiffy. Find your joy.
You've been listening to the What If Nothing's Wrong podcast with Heidi Haddad, LCSW, Nelsie Spencer, that's me, and Ronnie Whaley. Tweet us and join Heidi's weekly AMAs on Twitter at Heidi L. Haddad, or tweet the What If Nothing's Wrong podcast at WINW Pod. That's at WINW Pod on Twitter. You can also email us at whatifnothingswrong@gmail.com. The What If Nothing's Wrong podcast is produced and edited by the amazing Ronnie Whaley.